Would you say you were exposed to much of this type of behavior, either at school or at home?
Quite a bit, I'm afraid. It was demonstrated at school. By the teachers and the students, really.
Of course. Well, colleagues, in my professional opinion, I believe that the best explanation for the patient's wild and erratic behavior can be surmised by the social learning theory and by learned helplessness. Because he was bullied so much in school, and because with social learning theory he learned to respond violently to that bullying, he ended up being a violent person where he wasn't in the beginning, which would be an instance of classical conditioning. This means that the best therapy for this would be simply to remove the stimuli and to slowly condition him not to respond to bullying. Whether or not this can be done, I'm not sure, I'm afraid. While your theory may be true, I would like to pose one of my own questions to the patient. Do you often feel torn between your different lifestyles at home and at school?
Yes, quite a bit I do.
Then it so follows that the events which transpired are a result of the patient's obvious severe cognitive dissonance. This is caused when the patient goes between his life at school and at home, where in one he is quite powerful and you could even say popular, and in the other situation he is made to feel nothing of himself and almost like an animal in his home life. This causes cognitive dissonance and could lead, I believe, to a temporary insanity, but to this effect I'm not sure. Yes, sure. Well, you both may be correct in thinking this. I believe the key to explaining the events that occurred is far simpler than you are both making it. Before we began this examination, my team was able to acquire and test a sample of the blood of the patient. This sample showed an abnormally high level of serotonin. This is a key chemical in balancing mood in any of us, and the abnormally high level of this indicates that his brain is not functioning properly. This could mean that the patient could suffer from severe acute insanity to the point where he could perpetrate such actions without fully being consciously aware of what he was doing. While I think it's good that each of us may have our own explanation to the cause of the behavior of the patient, there is still the problem of whether or not the patient can be classified as mentally insane. I think even in the face of all this evidence, there's not enough to classify the patient mentally insane at the time of the crime. I would agree. I think the patient goes through several day-to-day difficulties and traumas, you could say, in his life, but no more so than the average person. This would mean that there should be no reason that he, rather than anyone else, should be mentally insane. I would also agree that given the circumstances of the crime, no chemical imbalance that we have observed could have caused the type of insanity that would excuse this type of crime. Then it is agreed. Our response to the judge will be that there is no sufficient data to support the claim of insanity.
I believe you have all been mistaken, and you will all pay.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.